Okay, and welcome back. This is MattCat, aka the Solo Gamer. And picking up from where we left off last time, I had just had my little talk with the Primarch, and now weird crap is happening.
What do you mean, offline?
I don't know. She's not responding, and I can't access the AI core diagnostics. You better get down to deck 3.
Oh, goody. So our local shipboard computer AI has gone berserk, or offline. Although, admittedly, what happens here is actually one of the coolest things they did in the game. We must give them credit for that. Heading towards the AI core. There we go. And I love that there's like 2 troopers already at the door.
Automated systems have the fires contained. It should be safe to enter. We'll follow
Goody.
you.
Joker, what's that sound?
Fire extinguishers, Commander. Could be an electrical fire, or something.
Well, it should be clear.
I'm going in.
You'd figure we'd have something more advanced than that as a
Edie,
fire
talk to me.
extinguisher in that time. There we go. Just need a reboot. And Edie is now mobile.
Is there a particular
And
topic
nubile,
you wish
too.
to discuss, Shepard?
Edie,
Yes.
you're in Dr. Eva's body.
Not all of me, but I have control of it. It was not a seamless transition.
I bet.
A transition? You blacked out on us for a while there.
Correct. When we brought this unit on board, I began a background process to search for its information on the Prothean device. This eventually triggered a trap. A backup power source and CPU activated, and the unit attempted physical confrontation. Fortunately, I was able to gain root access and repurpose it as I saw fit. During this process, it struggled. Thus the fire.
Edie, you need to alert us about incidents like this. You shouldn't have done this alone.
Bringing the crew up to speed would have been counterproductive. All attempts to help would have been limited by reaction time.
There we
So
go.
you're in there. Are you still in the ship?
I exist primarily within the ship. For optimal control, this unit should remain within Normandy's broadcast or tight beam range.
Are you planning to take that body somewhere?
Normandy's weaponry is not suited to every combat situation. This platform could provide limited fire ground support.
Ooh.
You mean you could come with us?
Correct. This body could accompany you to areas the Normandy cannot reach.
Before we do that, I need you to guarantee this mech doesn't have any more surprises in it. Run
Okay.
whatever tests you can, then we can talk about using it in combat situations.
One moment. I am running trials. Complete. I can send you a full report if you wish. However, my first step should be restoring functionality to the Normandy to reassure the crew that all is normal.
Just don't be surprised if the crew's a little wary of your new body. It was shooting at them a little while ago.
An excellent point.
I will take it to the bridge.
Joker will also want to see it.
Oh, God. Edie is inadvertently ship teasing herself with Joker. Yeah.
Was that Edie who just walked by?
Indeed.
Yes, it was.
Oh, Joker is going to have a field day with that.
Indeed he is.
So how may I help you, Commander?
See you around, Doctor.
Take care, Shepard.
I love that Dr. Traquas is aware enough to realize that Joker's going to have a freak out when he sees that robot body. And Garrus is right back where he was last time.
2 of our dreadnoughts have been lost in a matter of hours.
I know, Primarch. I'm seeing the same numbers myself. They don't look good.
We have to turn this around, and fast.
Well, you can trust Shepard, sir. If anybody can get the Krogan to cooperate, it's her. She's an old friend of Urdnot Rex.
Let's just hope friendship still counts for something in this war.
I'm sure it will, sir.
Garrus. Didn't waste any time getting to work, I see.
After what I've been through lately, calibrating a giant gun is a vacation. Gives me something to focus on.
We're gonna need you for more than your aim.
Oh, I'm ready for it. But I'm pretty sure we'll still need giant guns.
And lots of them.
Sovereign didn't go down without a fight. I doubt 1,000 more of his friends will be any different. Still not convinced I should have left Palaven behind.
Yeah, I know how that feels.
I was a boy back on Earth. Couldn't have been more than 6 or 7. I watched him die as the Normandy escaped the attack.
Ouch.
Somehow I'm still alive. And he's not.
Being right about the Reapers has never felt much like a victory, has it?
Nope.
We both knew this fight would be tough. Damned if the Reapers haven't delivered.
At least my government listened to me. Or pretended to. They finally gave me a task force as a token to shut me up.
So, you're their expert advisor now?
Something like
Follow
that.
your example, Shepard. Yell loud enough and someone will eventually come over to see what all the fuss is about. Not that they'll actually do anything about it.
Until hell shows up at their door. Then they put you in charge.
Just like the old days for those two.
Rogue Spectre and C-Sec agents running and gunning outside the lines, making it up as we went along.
Kinda miss those days.
We're actually respectable now.
Respectable.
I have a feeling that respect comes with a lot of sleepless nights.
Yep.
I can't even count how many lives are depending on us, Garrus.
Well, when
I
things
wouldn't
are
bother
looking
trying.
grim, and I'm pretty sure they will. Just remember, a certain Turian friend of yours isn't sleeping any better, and he'd be more than happy to meet you at the bar and drink you under the table.
I like that
Something
idea.
else you want to talk about?
So what's this Reaper task force you've been running?
After what happened to you out there in Batarian space, I knew time was running out. For all of us. The Citadel Council was a dead end, so I did something I never thought I'd do. I went to my father.
Yeah, he and his
Used to work
father
for
didn't
C-Sec,
get
didn't
along.
he? I seem to remember that the two of you didn't see eye to eye.
To put it mildly. But he still had heavy pull in the Turian government. The Primarch, well, the old one, was a friend of his. So I went to my father and laid out everything we knew about the Reapers, from Saren all the way to the Collector base.
I'm not sure even I'd believe it.
I had to admit that parts of it sounded crazy, meeting Vigil, talking to Sovereign on Vermeer. But my father just listened. It's what he did in his days at C-Sec, putting together all the pieces. If the connections were there, he wouldn't deny them. And he saw what we always knew.
The Reapers were coming.
I'm glad someone finally agreed.
He did more than agree.
He took it to the Primarch.
I like his style.
I like that.
Except the Primarch wasn't as convinced. My father kept pushing and finally got him to commit some token resources. And if you call them a task force, it sounds like you did something about it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
What'd you do with it?
As much as I could get away with. And a little more. We hardened our lines of communications, expanded emergency stockpiles across the colonies, improved our early warning detection protocols.
You think it helped?
I'd like to think it bought our fleet some extra time. We'll know when this war is over.
I know you don't have any illusions about what we're up against, Garrus. How do you rate our chances?
I know it looks bad now, but I think we can win this, Shepard. For the first time since we met, we're not alone in the fight. It's something I learned long ago in C-Sec. An imminent and painful death has a way of motivating people.
I bet he
Instead
learned
of
that
questioning
firsthand,
every
too. That's
word, whole
probably something we don't
civilizations
want to
are going
ask
be
about.
begging you to save them.
So you can vouch for this new Primarch?
Well, even if I couldn't, you go to war with the army you have.
Yeah,
Will he
great.
live up to his word?
I've never known Victus to lie. Play fast and loose with strategy, maybe, but betray an ally. Not his style. And if he did try, well, we'll just find another Primarch.
I noticed generals saluting you, Garrus. How far down the line of secession are you these days?
Let's not go there.
Primarch Vicarian, honored war hero. Somebody's gonna have to rebuild Palaven when this is over.
Yeah, somebody who knows how to hold a hammer.
I like him.
You mentioned you still had family on Paladin.
Garrus was always one of my
My
favorites.
father is there. Sister, too.
How long's it been since you heard
He's
from
easily the most,
Long enough to be worried.
humane character in
Sure.
terms of his own story,
That's the thing about getting old.
but at
you know.
times he's the most
The
ruthless in
platitudes
combat.
just as old.
And this is a guy who'll blow your head off from a mile away simply out of amusement
That's
because
all
you're
for
a
now,
threat.
Garrus. It's damn good to have you back.
Wouldn't
should
miss
hope
this
so.
fight for anything. Now, I'm sure somebody screwed up something down here. I want to get the old girl back in fighting shape.
Darn thing still needs calibrations. Alright, so time to go to the bridge, I think, or where was I going to go? See Liara, I think. Yeah. Why did I come back here? Oh, that's right, because I wanted to reassign my power abilities. Yeah, that's right, I got Slam. Slam was always one of my favorite abilities in the second game because it was one of those things where you could literally, the moment a guy's armor breached, you could lift him off the ground and then slam him back into it instantly. It was great for, taking a particularly annoying enemy out of a fight real fast. It wasn't the most effective way to deal with groups, but that's what you have the shockwave for. Yeah, I think I went to Liara. Yeah, I did. It's funny because I've actually played multiple versions of the male and female campaigns,
Positive you don't want to come over
and I've
talk?
actually pursued
The gun battery's
almost
nice
every
and
love
light.
interest.
If I throw down some rugs, it'll get downright cozy.
Garrus.
I'll be fine, Liara. Just gathering some thoughts.
Oh,
All right.
how sweet. Ooh, more information. Oh, there's a joke right there where Mordin in the second game had mentioned that the cyanide capsules Cerberus used were primitive, and that ocular nerve flashbangs were harder to disarm. Turns out Cerberus took his advice and did that to their own troops. And then Prothean notes. She's apparently taking notes from Javik. And more notes on Javik.
Hello again, Shepard.
What have you been up to since we last saw each other?
Since you helped me defeat the Shadow Broker, I started looking for defenses against the Reapers. The
Great.
Protheans were the only ones with substantial information on them. The older civilizations barely had records. I knew the Elusive Man was hunting for the same thing when our agents began crossing paths.
Ooh, goody.
Like on Mars.
I thought I'd covered my tracks, but he had surveillance there all along.
You brought your little helper with you?
Its name is Glyph. It helped sort through all the data that led me to the archive on Mars.
It was a pleasure to be of assistance, Doctor.
Glyph's interfaced with the data feeds. Its analytical software should come in handy.
Great.
How much do you know about this Prothean artifact?
Very little.
Oh,
We're
there's a
fortunate enough
visual
to
glitch with the
survive
head
to piece
movement
together the
because
blueprints.
for some
Decoding
reason
them
that
will
sequence
require as
locks your
many
character's
specialists as we
eyes
can find.
It's
onto
that
the
high-tech.
drone.
I'd have killed
And you're
for a
constantly
coincidence
trying to
in graduate
follow it
school.
even while you're talking to Liara.
What's been happening with you as the broker, Liara?
It's been exciting. The old broker's ship, impressive, but it was never meant to be space-worthy. Which meant the Elusive Man eventually tracked me down on Hagalaz.
Ooh.
What happened?
I knew he was coming. Farron and I loaded as much of the ship's specialized hardware onto a shuttle as we could. We got away from Cerberus's ships after arranging an appropriate distraction.
What kind of distraction?
Sending the broker's ship exploding into a Cerberus cruiser.
Ooh.
I don't think the
I like
Elusive
that.
Man expected me to give up my resources in such a spectacular fashion.
I wouldn't have.
Can you still operate as the broker without the ship?
Well, I couldn't let the Elusive Man have it. I saved what was crucial.
Good.
My network of agents is intact, although the Reapers have taken a toll on their numbers.
Crap.
It's taking a while to re-establish contact.
So where is Farron if you two escaped?
He convinced me he was recovered enough to work, and I do need more agents.
Agent Farron didn't report any injuries during his last call to you, Doctor.
True. Given what he survived, I should probably worry less.
We'll talk later, Liara.
Alright,
course.
so that's that for Liara. Again, as I said, I've pursued almost every single pairing that the Mass Effect universe offers. And among them, for male Shepard, I always preferred Tali. But in the first game you couldn't choose her. In the second game you could, which was awesome. And I think in the third game you can actually choose her as well, which is great if you're really hardcore about pursuing that. It's nice that you can actually continue with that storyline. Now, that being said, my female Shepard has almost always gone with Liara, though I do understand you can actually have relationships with other females in this game in particular, which is interesting. Although I do remember I had one particular player character group where I had a female Shepard who wound up hooking up with Garrus, which was interesting. Although admittedly they are an interesting couple,
Your family
but
survived into this cycle?
Yes. We called them Collectors. They fought for the Reapers. For a long time, no one knew they were Prothean.
oops.
And when did you realize?
Shepard had no choice but to kill the ones she encountered. They were all indoctrinated, and had been for a long time. I'm sorry.
I am grateful. It was an act of mercy.
Yes,
Yeah,
I suppose it was.
he understands.
I am feeling better, Commander. I stand ready to fight.
Cool. So I get Javik now. A lot of people complained about him being like day one DLC, but I really liked him.
Have you seen our newest crew member?
You mean the biggest story in 50,000 years that I can in no way talk about?
So you have seen him. Just wondering.
Trainer, you
Uzmek was that.
evil woman.
She has got some curves. Do we need to talk, Commander?
Not right now, Allers.
Let me know when we do.
Yeah, and you can actually throw her off the ship at any time, but keeping her on the ship can be advantageous. Alright, I think we're heading upstairs. Yeah. And we're gonna go hop back over to the Citadel, I believe. Because I think I get an email or something from Thane. And I want to go visit him. Among the various characters from Mass Effect 2 and your team member... Oh, wait.
Commander, are you alright? It was fairly intense up here. I can only imagine what it was like down on that moon.
I thought you'd be more concerned about EDI.
EDI is a huge asset to this team. If she'd told me about her plan to obtain a body, I'd have volunteered to help.
Thank you,
I'd have
Edie.
preferred a conflict of interest to a hard restart of half our systems.
But thanks.
Regardless. While you're here, though, I found something while scanning Alliance channels. Grissom Academy is requesting help. The Reaper invasion front will hit them soon.
So they're trying to
The war would
evacuate.
close most schools.
Grissom Academy is more specialized than a normal school. It's home to some of the smartest students humanity has. Their Ascension project helps gifted young biotics. If it had been open 20 years ago, I bet you'd have been there.
Yes, I sent a young man named David Archer there. I'm just surprised they're still open.
Yeah,
Some of
that's
their
something
work
that you
has
get for
Alliance
playing
support.
Overlord.
That might be why they stayed.
What can we do?
A Turian evac transport responded to their distress call, so normally I'd say we don't need to do anything.
But
Something sounded off in the Turian signal. I had Edie perform an analysis. It's fake. Edie thinks it's Cerberus. She said the fake Turian signal was similar to the one that lured you to a collector ship.
Long story.
long story
In any
indeed.
event, whoever faked the signal wants us to think Grissom Academy's being evacuated. But I believe they're still in danger.
Good catch. Maybe you belong here after all.
If this really is Cerberus, hopefully this operation is something worth investigating. It could be simple disinformation.
Trainer. Good catch.
Good catch. Hello, shut
Thank
up.
you, Commander.
She is admittedly a more interesting persona than Kelly Chambers, but still. Yeah, so Arya T'Loak is apparently now on the Citadel. There was a bit of a problem on Omega. Ashley is being proposed to be a Spectre. Someone's requesting help. Jimbo, Special Tactics Regimes. Oh yeah, there's another side mission on the Citadel you can get involved with. And then there's Thane. Again, as I said, I think the Mass Effect series is my favorite, period. Hands down, it did for me, in terms of video games, what Star Wars did for movies. And I'm not talking the prequels or nothing. I mean the original trilogy. So, that's just my opinion, of course, but given the sales, I don't think that's a hard argument to make. Now, am I going to try and do another quick jump and scan, or am I going to just leave like a smart person? Nope, I'm going to try to run in there one more time. And they're going to be waiting for me. No, they aren't. Okay, that's kind of surprising. Crap.
Faster than light jump successful.
Again, that Reaper noise is just completely freaky. Now, this is one of the things that I found that was slightly irritating. In the first game, when you were, prowling around looking for stuff all over the place, you would sometimes see something sparkle to indicate that there was a hidden item there. But in this case, this game does not do that, but there's a glitch. If you listen carefully, and I didn't realize this at first, there's a audio cue that indicates that there's a hidden object in an area, and it's the same sound that the game makes whenever you pass over a planet. So it's easy to miss if you're not paying attention. I didn't catch it at first when I was playing.
Normandy, we are transferring your docking clearance to an Alliance official.
Great.
Figures. Finally back in action, the Alliance already wants us tagged and collared.
Just our way of welcoming you back, Flight Lieutenant.
Yes, ma'am. Requesting docking permission.
Joker.
Docking permission granted. Would you like private transport arranged?
Yes, I need a ride to the hospital.
Yes, Commander.
Now, say what you will, if BioWare knows nothing else, it knows how to do its universe justice. In terms of its visual style and quality, it's magnificent. Now, here's an example of one of the little side things I mentioned. You can actually give some of the items you find on your missions to other people to form war assets. And they give you like bonuses and stuff.
Yeah, we can put this to good use.
Yeah, excuse me, folks. And there's my buddy Thane.
When I heard Earth was under attack, I tried to call. I never got through.
Thane, good to see you staying in shape.
My disease kills slowly. With enough care and a healthy lifestyle, it can be delayed for a few years. Of course, my allotted time has come and gone. Now I exercise because it pleases me.
I always loved the sort of spiritual nature of his character.
Ashley.
The dark-haired human woman in intensive care. She will be starting physical therapy with my class soon.
Ah, cool.
If she means something to you, then I will help how I can. As long as she is here, consider her under my protection.
I wouldn't want anybody else protecting her. She's the man.
I am near the end of my life. It is a good time to be generous.
Very positive outlook.
Kemperl syndrome has put most of my other plans on hold.
Yeah, it's a shame because he was always one of my favorites.
Are you in a lot of pain?
At times. The oxygen transfer proteins don't form correctly. Your human equivalent would be hemoglobin. As a result, my blood is low in oxygen. No matter how much I breathe in, I get tingling, numbness, and that is the best of it. As for my brain, I cannot track the damage. I just experience dizziness from time to time.
So for those of you who aren't following,
Do you know
imagine trying to breathe and only getting a tenth or a small portion of the oxygen you normally would.
3 months to live.
And he's been told he had 3 months to live 9 months ago. So it's continued to deteriorate.
No responsibilities, no fears. It is a good end to a life.
I imagine it would be, not having anything to worry about anymore.
Sure could use you.
I would not be as I was before. I need daily medical attention. And if I know you, you will want to fight the Reapers somehow. You need the best at your side, and I am not at mine.
You don't have to wrestle down Krogan and break their necks. I'm sure we could find you lighter work.
I am at peace with what I've done in my life, Shepard. There comes a time when one must rest from war and conflict.
Indeed.
It is not your time, but it is mine.
So essentially what he's saying is that he can no longer fight the way he used to, and he won't risk anyone else on it.
My son visits regularly.
Now that only occurs if you saved his son in the last game properly.
Until we meet again.
But it's good to know that if you succeeded, it actually has some positive repercussions. But we're right up about to the end here anyway, so. Now that being said...
What's going on here?
Oh.
Ma'am, I'll cut you a deal. You buy us 90 million credits worth of life-saving equipment, and you can name the hospital whatever you want.
Now the truth comes out. My job here is done.
And see, that's another of those little side things you can walk into, but anyway, like I said, we're right about wrapping up here. Grab a little stuff from the supply shop, and I think that'll conclude. Next time, we'll say hi to Ashley. See you then, folks.